Hello and welcome to the program. I am Deji. Now, it's been well over a month since videos of Kano State Governor Ibrahim Ganduje allegedly taking bribes surfaced on social media. The videos published by online media Daily Nigerian drew the attention of many Nigerians, and even the Kano State House of Assembly opened the probe against the governor. However, the governor got a boost when the State High Court suspended that probe and even ordered the publisher of Daily Nigerian, Jafar, not to publish any more videos of the alleged incident. He also received another boost when members of the Kano State APC caucus in the National Assembly pledged loyalty and support to his re-election bid. Now, the members passed a vote of confidence on the governor, who they say, quote, has performed very well, end of quote. Now, as if that was not enough, the governor received another cheerful news when the Kano State High Court ordered the State Assembly to completely stop the probe. The presiding judge, Ahmed Badamasi, said the power to investigate criminal charges is vested in the police, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. He also ruled that the Assembly, by constitution, only has the power to make law and review existing law, but not the power to investigate criminal matters. However, how legal now is this ruling? Joining me to discuss this further is Chief Robert Clarke, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria. Chief, thank you very much for joining us on the program. First is, what do you make of that judgment from the Kano State High Court?
To be present today, the judgment of the High Court of Kano is well within the perimeters of the democratic principles of this country. Nigeria is a federation where the seat of powers are delineated to be that of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. And as a democracy, the rule of law is the fundamental tenet which the principles of our democracy is founded. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we have discovered that since the so-called democracy started in 1999, we have never tried to adhere to the principle of law and to the doctrine of the system of governance, which we all believe will make it a happier place for Nigeria. Before now, one could have said that the judiciary was the only wing of the federation that was adhering to the rule of law and to the doctrine of due processes. But events have shown me that the judiciary, even from the apex court of the country, we are now one of those that are demeaning that principle of law, which any democratic country must strongly uphold. Now to the question of why people are shouting at the judiciary for doing a job that is very well done as far as I'm concerned. The legislators, as the court rightly said, perform only functions of lawmaking. But the court has not also told us one aspect of their functions, which is the question of looking into matters that affect their duties. However, one has to point out that the oversight functions of the legislators are restricted. They are restricted in the sense that they can only look into any activities that is, covered by appropriation funds. Where you find a situation where government has not appropriated a fund, the National Assembly has no power under the law to investigate. I remember during the period of Obasanjo's regime, when money was unilaterally paid in respect of the electrical, something over 30 billion, I nearly went to court to challenge the National Assembly that they could not look into it because the money Obasanjo used was not appropriated, and their oversight functions can only relate to appropriated funds.
In this case, sorry to interject now, in this case, basically what you're saying is that, the alleged bribe that the governor collected, the money did not come from the state.
Look, as the court rightly said, whatever is the basis of the gift, whatever is the reason for receiving the bribe, It is not for the National Assembly to look into it, because the money referred to as the basis of the bribe did not arise from any appropriation of the House of Assembly. So they have no legal right to look into it. And as the court said, it is a criminal act. Whatever act it is only the police, the EFCC, or the ICPC that can look into it constitutionally.
Now, I also know that Kano State has got its own, well, if you like, I think the State Economic Financial Crimes Commission now. Could that body also look into this?
Definitely. Any executive body that is clothed with the principles of investigation and prosecution, like EFCC and other, the police, have a right to look into this aspect of allegation. But not the Assembly. The police can look into it based on a petition written to it. The police cannot just stand up and say, oh, I discovered in the social media some, not in this age of, I don't know how you call it,
so in that case, even the EFCC too cannot just stand up on its own and say it wants to investigate this if a petition is not written to that commission.
Now, that is the area I'm going. I am recently doing a case where EFCC is prosecuting, and during the process of prosecuting in the court, carried the same case to the Judicial Service Commission. And behold, the National Judicial Council agreed to accept a petition from EFCC, sat over it, gave ruling on it, when the case in the lower court was still pending. What a gracious abuse of privilege of court processes in Nigeria. This is what I told you. EFCC, ICPC are meant to receive petitions. There is no law that allows them to petition themselves on information gathered according to them from intelligence report. No way. You cannot be an investigator and also a petitioner. Your duty as EFCC or ICPC is to investigate petitions handed over to you, not for you to petition. So we are throwing many of the doctrines of the rule of law, we are throwing the due process, we are just throwing it into the dustbin. And it is very, very surprising that even the apex court in Nigeria could be part of this, eruption of our system.
So what do you think is the way forward with this case now? Does it mean it dies a natural death?
No. This is the good side of democracy. Somebody took that article into the social media. Somebody was aware that somebody was giving a bribe. Let that person come out, write a petition to the EFCC or to the ICPC or to the police and say, look, I have this information. Please investigate it. That is the normal rule of law. That is the normal due process to follow in a democracy. Not for the assembly to receive information they gathered from the social circle and decide to investigate. They don't have that power. And the court was correct.
Do you expect this judgment now by the court to serve as some kind of precedent, considering the fact that, look, even in the National Assembly as we speak today, the National Assembly is carrying out a series of investigations that you look at this court ruling, you would say, well, the National Assembly should not be carrying out those investigations in the first place.
The bottom line is this. You see, we lawyers, we say, to us, facts are sacred. Because if you are going to build any processes, you have to assemble the facts. If you fail to get your facts correctly. Now, many people, when you look at the National Assembly, as part of their oversight functioning, the bottom line is that what they are looking for facts from is either an expenditure that has been budgeted and appropriated by them. That is the bottom line. The National Assembly cannot look into any complaints if it does not involve, except if the complaint is to enable them to amend a particular existing law. You see, so they cannot just stop and say, oh, Robert Clarke's chamber, somebody has stolen money. We want to investigate it. I have not received any money from government. The money they are going to investigate in Robert Clarke's chambers is not appropriated. No, they don't have the power. That's the same thing they are doing in Kano now. The money that was given as a bribe, if it was from a contractor, and the contractor got the money from the federal government, and the federal government had budgeted, and National Assembly had approved that, but then they can look into it. But they must first have their facts clear, that the money in question is money that has been derived from the coffers of the government on a matter or a subject that has been given budgeted approval and appropriated. You see, that word appropriation is very important. That is what that gives power to the assembly, national or the regional assemblies. If the matter they are looking into does not fall into a review of the law, to enable them to review an existing law, or if the money involved in the subject matter was not derived from a budgeted amount that has been appropriated by them, then they have no power to investigate.
And finally, Chief, you look at this case involving the Kano State governor now. Don't you think it's more like a storm in a teacup, considering the fact that, look, even after investigation, you cannot prosecute this individual because he's still the governor of that state and he's covered by immunity?
My son, you have hit the nail right on the head. It's a storm in the teapot. Let the person who wrote that article and circulated that article bring out more facts as to the nature of the money, the source of the money, to enable you and I to first know whether it is public money. Because that is very important. A private contractor may bring money to the governor. It is not an offense. But if the money he's bringing forward as a bribe was derived from the money appropriated by the agencies of the legislature, then he's in trouble. So I agree with you, it's a storm in the teacup. Who is the owner of the money they are giving to him? Who owns it? Where was it derived from? These are facts we want to know more about.
All right, Chief Robert Clarke, thank you very much for joining us on the program and for your contributions.
It's always my pleasure, always my pleasure.
We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
On Deji 360, we don't just ask the questions.
What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it?
We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent.
Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action.
People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country.
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that band.
Deji 360, providing clarity to issues.